Good evening. Check out this book. Love, Landmines. How to Spot and Eliminate Deadly Relationship Habits. Check this out. In a rocky relationship, there are many things one person can do to begin on the right path, even if your partner is not yet interested. Either way, some delightful results will occur. You can be healed, get emotionally healthier, and become alert and aware of what to not allow that will trip you up going forward. This makes you a far better person for all relationships, now and in the future. If you too desire happier and healthier relationships, read this small book and begin a safer passage through life. It's exactly what I plan on doing. I've noticed patterns with the women that I've dated, and it makes me question a lot of things. How do I keep ending up with these types of people? Why did I allow so much? What to look for, other than my own experiences? So, let's look through this together. Jumping to conclusions blows up on you too. You ever speak your piece and it ends up blowing up in your face? Can't wait. Who am I really, and what do I like? Controlling, rescuing, and fixing and enabling. The silent treatment is cruel. Nursing, cursing, and rehearsing. Fuel for the fire. Denial. Forgiveness. Isolation. And sweeping it under the rug. Boy, this is gonna be fun. Love landmines, huh? Chapter 1. Assumptions and jumping to conclusions. I've done that many times. You may have heard to not judge a book by its cover. This is true for people too. So before you assume anything, open the book and read at least the table of contents of the person. You may learn enough about a person to begin a mutually positive relationship or repair it. It's often said that assumptions make an ass out of you. To avoid being an ass, do not jump to conclusions. Humbly ask a few more open-ended questions and listen. Assumptions start with a tiny bit of data, such as gossip, someone's appearance, even a facial expression. I'm OCD. I don't like this shit. We fill in the blanks or unknowns about the person due to our shallow assumptions, guesses, or unintentional lack of knowledge. The worst relationship assumptions are those we act on, believing they're accurate. For example, how often does one assume someone is wealthier because of their appearance or their car, etc., etc.? This common belief can be destructive to intimacy because it includes expectations by believing they are not generous. In truth, they are not stingy. They are very generous within their means. Assumptions can end in a relationship because one person judged the book by its cover alone. In the beginning, maybe they were trying to impress you, and it worked, possibly too well. A superb relationship can be around the corner if some investment of time and discovery is made. In the meantime, it's okay to not know it all. So suspend your judgment. Risk finding out it's worth it. If your assumptions turn out to be true, then you can make a knowledgeable decision rather than a guess. Assumptions can cause significant problems. For example, if you think your partner has the same tastes or likes that you do, unrealized expectations can cause pain. That's why it is better to not have expectations, or at least seek more understanding so you'll know not to be driven by faulty or self-focused expectations, such as this scenario in the book. Maybe you love surprises, but in fact your partner doesn't. Negative surprises have affected them from their past family dynamics. So for them, a surprise party is not a good idea, even when it's done with a pure motive. A reaction of shock, fear, and anger could result. This person clearly has some healing to do, but doesn't need shaming or scolding. For them, even a good surprise can backfire. Unfortunately, the efforts of throwing the surprise party are rejected. You probably feel disappointed and butthurt because the motive was good and you expected a joyful, grateful response. You're in a catch-22. If you tell them the surprise is gone, unless they find out another way. If you don't, it may be a train wreck, but it's a lesson for sure. It's better to be sure and ask them or a close friend. If you learn that they love a surprise, great. If not, don't do it. Plain and simple. Relationship assumptions are established on weak opinions or inaccuracies due to inadequate data. Understand? Short-sightedness of prejudging is usually bent towards a negative slant, not a positive one, as we look at life through our own lens. These prejudgments are often based off one's own personal history with people, places, situations, and experiences. Irrational fears and overgeneralizations are often embedded in one's foundational experiences. For example, having an excessive fear of cats because of a childhood experience caused by mother, to have an intense phobia of cats. Its common core refusal to address the original incident and obtain a balanced, accurate view of cats. Even if she still don't like them, she can at least see a few reasons why. Not all assumptions are equal. Both shallow and core assumptions are made all the time. Certain assumptions are an everyday part of life, such as assume this chair will hold me if I sit on it, or the people on the sidewalk will not walk across the street if the light is green, or the restaurant server will bring the food when I order it. The kind of assumptions I'm referring to are often subtle, but dangerous, especially in relationships. They deprive both people of intimacy. The one assuming something is often made a habit out of their subconscious. It's damaging behavior. It only appears when an emotional explosion happens, which causes pain, panic, and emotional and physical distance. Here's another example. For the first years, my spouse bought only slight items like potpourri for Christmas, or birthdays, or nothing at all. He was brought up in a way that his mom had a poverty mentality, and gifts were superfluous luxuries. I was also brought up in a humble home, but we always made a big deal out of Christmas. It was a sign of love for me to get a well-thought-out gift, not expensive, just personal. It is one of my love languages. He was exposed to doing very little or nothing. He had unnecessary anxiety about it. Unnecessary, because he didn't ask me. The surprise was his priority, nor did I ask him his reason for his behavior. I wrongly assumed he didn't care. After many sad holidays, I finally asked him about it and found the courage to tell him how hurt I was when he gave me a slight or even offensive gift or none at all. It takes courage and sensitivity to gently confront someone with the truth. Tell me about it. It is objective, meaning it is entirely true for me, whether the other person agrees or not. He said he didn't know what to do, so he did little or nothing. It was how he was raised. So he continued this hurtful behavior until he knew better. Once he had the meaningful talk, it became clear that we both had choices here. He needed to see where this behavior came from, and I needed to teach him about me. He was surprised that I really hated potpourri. Thank God. He was a willing learner. So we settled this issue, and it hasn't been a problem ever since. It works both ways. And I appreciate knowing what he likes. All landmines can be byproducts of youthful traumas that scarred someone deeply. Unresolved trauma can take on a terrible toll on personal relationships. The key is to allow the light of truth to get in, as denial and darkness keep us stuck. An incident with an aggressive dog who bared his teeth at me as a child is why I shy far from pit bulls, as well as their reputation for being dangerous. I know they can be quite calm and gentle, but not every dog's a good dog. Some are taught to terrorize. Some just look scary. As an adult, I consider the owner and I get more information. If possible, before I jump to a faulty conclusion, I have learned that most pitties are sweet, friendly, intelligent dogs. So I no longer instantly jump to fear. I also learned to respect all dogs and not initiate a pat on the head without asking the owner if it's okay. There are life lessons that infiltrate and sabotage our adulthood with messages that can corrupt an emotionally healthy living. Assumptions come from the filter that we use to view life. In relationships, assumptions cause friction when we carelessly or ignorantly do not know the backstory or the whole story. This situation is rampant in movies and TV shows. These fictional people refuse to ask each other the truth about their feelings or about the situation. Still, they would instead allow all kinds of imaginary nonsense to deceive them. In a TV scene, the nurse was looking and smiling at a handsome dude when her boyfriend, with her, noticed. This triggered his abandonment issues due to his childhood, so he reacted in rage rather than curiosity. As a child, his mom left him, his sister, so now he reacts inappropriately to any similar benign threat. Truthfully, his girlfriend is very devoted to him. If he asked her about this, she would have shared, "Oh, he was once dying of cancer, and it's so good to see him well now." Curiosity leads us to the truth. Taking the risk to find the truth is the antidote to assumptions. Okay? Begin to ask calm, open-ended questions and listen without interruption. The goal of the conversation is to understand them, not change them, and not even necessarily agree with them. When we're tempted to assume or react, pause and ask permission to clarify by asking a calm question before proceeding. This can save many people from arguing, blaming, shaming, and causing pain. A simple question, like "How do you know that guy?" could have eliminated an ugly scene. It can also open some deep-seated issues that need examination and healing. Based on the assumption, jealousy was this guy's love landmine, but he can be healed of it. Yet that's not your job, that's his job to do. Assumptions that are byproducts of childhood or youthful dysfunctions will require professional help to work through them. For now, I encourage you to read Heal Your Hurt Inner Child by Terry O'Brien. Everyone is a complex system of parts, styles, and coping mechanisms that once served us when we were inner child grew up under duress. Family systems are maintained by patterns, beliefs, and emotions that perpetrate unhealthy dynamics across generations. You may already know some harmful coping behaviors you've picked up from your family. Some assumptions are harmless, but many are not. Generalities and stereotypes are assumptions that can rob one another of relational truth. If the relationship is important enough, finding the truth gently and with time is worth the effort. Doing so in a delicate, respectful, and curious manner is necessary. This can disarm one another and open a path of peace toward true intimacy, respect, and love, especially if each listens with compassion, without trying to fix, score, or shame. Live and let live, for a life absent of superficial viewpoints, which can often mask the opposite. While you're seeking truth, believe the best in others, not the worst. The truth will set you free. Free from habit of assuming. Just knowing that many assumptions can be a love landmine is reason enough to identify, disarm, and address them honestly. Lesson number 1. When either of you wrongly assumes something about the other, it robs the relationship of honesty and intimacy, which breeds doubt and distance. The point is, don't assume anything. Ask for information that shows you are loving, wise, and not arrogant. It all begins with assumption, awareness. That's chapter 1. Very interesting book. I plan on reading the whole thing. I'll see you guys on the next one. Night.